Not every cartoon became a household name. Some were forgotten, buried deep within the vault of early 2000s imagination. They may not have been the biggest or the most famous, but these were the deep cuts. No, today we're cracking open the vault. Our journey begins with Time Squad, a show about three history-hopping buffoons trying to keep the timeline straight. You had the brutish Buck, the sophisticated robot Larry, and the orphan history buff Otto, traveling through time to fix historical figures who've gone off the rails. It was a clever, witty, and surprisingly educational show that only lasted 2 seasons. Was it too smart for its own good? Next up, a show that was stylistically a decade behind its time, yet so charmingly unique. Whatever happened to Robot Jones? Voiced by a Tex2's Peach program in its first season. This show perfectly captured the awkwardness of middle school through the eyes of a robot living in a groovy, 1980s-inspired world. The art style, looking like it was ripped straight from a Schoolhouse Rock segment, gave it a retro vibe that stood out from everything else on the air. It was a quirky gem that asked the important question: do robots have feelings? Let's talk about the ultimate wish fulfillment fantasy, Megas XLR. 2 slackers from New Jersey, Coop and Jamie, stumble upon a giant fighting robot from the future. What do? They trick it out with a car for a head, an 8-ball gear shift, and a killer sound system, of course. Megas XLR was pure, unadulterated, giant robot smashing fun. It was a love letter to anime, video games, and demolition derbies filled with insane action and hilarious one-liners. It's a cult classic for a reason, and fans are still clamoring for its return. From a giant robot to Sheep. Sheep in the Big City was a surprisingly meta and clever comedy about a sheep named Sheep on the run from a secret military organization led by General Specific, who wants to use him to power a sheep-powered ray gun. The show constantly broke the fourth wall, featured hilarious fake commercials, and had a narrator who was a character in his own right. It was a dry, witty show ahead of its time, parodying television itself. What about a trip to a tropical island? Mike, Lou, and Og took us to a remote island inhabited by quirky natives, where a sophisticated New York City girl named Mike tries to adapt. The show had a beautiful, painterly art style and a relaxed, slice-of-life feel. It was less about high-stakes adventure and more about cultural clashes and the charmingly weird inventions of the island's S-boy genius. Og, it was a chill, forgotten escape. Then came a show with real star power. Class of 3000, created by and starring Andre Centen of Outkast. This show followed a group of musically gifted students at a performing arts school in Atlanta, led by their eccentric teacher, Sonny Bridges. The music was incredible, the character designs were vibrant, and each episode was a full-blown musical explosion. It was a celebration of creativity, friendship, and finding your voice. Of course, we can't forget the magical girl genre, Cartoon Network style. The life and times of Juniper Lee was about a regular middle school girl who was also the Taejuan Z, a magical protector balancing schoolwork with fighting monsters. It had awesome action sequences, a rich mythology based on magical lore, and a great family dynamic. June was a tough, relatable hero who showed that saving the world is just another after-school activity. Speaking of family and monsters, let's dig into the Secret Saturdays. This show was an ode to pulp adventure serials and cryptozoology. The Saturday family, Doc, Drew, and Zach traveled the globe hunting for legendary cryptids. It felt like a modern-day Johnny Quest, packed with action, mystery, and a fascinating world of secret science and strange creatures. As the decade wound down, things got weird. In a good way. Chowder was a surreal, fourth-wall-shattering masterpiece about a young apprentice chef in a city full of bizarre foods and even more bizarre characters. The show's visuals were a feast for the eyes. Using a mix of traditional animation and puppetry, and its humor was delightfully absurd, you never knew what would happen next. And that was the magic of it. Across the pond, we got Robot Boy. It's a powerful fighting robot created by a world-renowned scientist. Robot Boy is sent to live with a 10-year-old boy to learn how to be a real boy. Sound familiar? While the premise wasn't entirely original, its action sequences were top-notch. Robot Boy's super-activated mode was always a highlight, turning this cute little bot into an absolute powerhouse. There were others too. Reruns of I Am Weasel and Cow and Chicken kept the weirdness of the 90s alive, Shows like Squirrel Boy gave us classic buddy comedy chaos. And for a while, Cartoon Network even aired incredible action shows like Storm Hawks. It's about daredevil Sky Knights fighting for freedom. These shows might be considered the lost era. They were the experiments, the oddballs, the cult classics. They may not all be household names, but for those of us who remember them, they were a vital part of what made Cartoon Network in the 2000s so special. Because even deep cuts deserve a comeback. Thanks for watching.